The human who stayed silent. The twin moons of Zalra glowed gently over the palace walls. The sky was quiet, painted with silver clouds. Inside the West Tower, Commander Silas stood alone, looking out at the garden where Princess Elira often walked. He had watched her from this window for 3 years. She was not like the others. She spoke little. She moved with grace. Her voice was calm, her words careful. Silas was one of the few humans allowed near her, chosen as a diplomat, nothing more. But something happened during those 3 years, something he never said aloud. He fell in love. He told himself it was just respect. Then he said it was admiration. But deep inside he knew the truth. He loved her. And he had loved her for years. Tonight, that silence would end. Elira sat alone on the marble bench, her silver hair catching the moonlight. Her long robe shimmered with threads that seemed to glow from within. Silas walked down the stairs, past the guards who nodded but said nothing. They knew him. They trusted him. But they also knew she was royalty. He was not. He reached the garden. Elira looked up as he approached. Her eyes were soft and glowing, like starlight trapped in water. "Commander Silas," she said, her voice calm as always. "You are awake late." "I couldn't sleep," he said. "Nor could I," she replied. They sat in silence. Then he spoke, carefully. "You may be leaving soon," he said. "Your father has accepted the trade deal. My mission may be over." Elira looked at the sky. Peace is good, but sometimes peace hides what is not said. Silas took a breath. "There is something I must tell you," he said. "Something I have carried too long." Elira turned her face to him. Her eyes held no fear, only curiosity. Silas swallowed. "I have loved you for years," he said quietly. "From the first moment we spoke. I never said it before because I thought maybe I wasn't allowed." For a moment there was only the wind. Elira's face did not change. Her lips parted, but no sound came. Then she whispered something, not in the human language, but in her own tongue. Soft, ancient, full of emotion. Silas couldn't understand the words, but he felt them. His chest tightened, his hands trembled. "What did you say?" he asked. Elira stood slowly. Her eyes now held something different. Fear, no sorrow. She stepped back. Then, without a word, she vanished into the shadows of the garden. "Wait," Silas called. "Please." He chased after her, but the path was empty. The guards did not stop him. They simply watched, silent. He returned to the tower, heart pounding. What had he done? Hours passed. No message came. No sign of her. By morning, she was gone. Not just missing. Gone from the palace. The royal halls were quiet. The servants spoke in whispers. The guards refused to answer questions. "She is away for personal matters," said one minister. But Silas knew that was a lie. Then, just before dusk, a small servant girl placed a folded note on his table. "She said you should have this if she did not return," the girl whispered. Silas opened it. There were only 7 words. "She didn't reject you. She ran to protect you." His hands went cold. Protect him? From what? From who? He looked again at the garden below. He had loved her in silence for so long, and the moment he spoke, he lost her. But something told him this was not the end. His love had changed everything. And now, everything was beginning to change. Her last message: the palace halls were too quiet. After receiving the note, Silas searched every place he had ever seen her. The library filled with glowing books, the garden beneath the moons, the hidden balcony where she sometimes stood alone. She was nowhere. No servant would speak to him. No guard would meet his eyes. The palace that once welcomed him now felt cold, heavy with secrets. Silas sat alone in his chamber that night, holding the note in his hand. "She didn't reject you. She ran to protect you." Why would his love put her in danger? And what was she protecting him from? His thoughts were broken by a soft knock. He opened the door quickly. It was the same young servant girl from before. Her face was pale, her eyes full of fear. "I shouldn't be here," she whispered. "But I heard her crying the night she left. She said your name. And she said, 'They will not let me choose him.'" "Who?" Silas asked. "Who won't let her choose?" "The elders," she said. "The ones who speak for the bloodline." Silas's heart sank. "Where did she go?" The girl hesitated. "Into the forbidden forest. She wore the cloak of shadows. She took nothing but her pendant and her father's old blade." "How do you know all this?" "I helped her escape," she whispered. "I would do it again." Silas leaned in. "Show me the way." She nodded, then placed a small glowing stone in his hand. "It will lead you." Before he could thank her, she ran off into the dark hallway and vanished. He packed his things quickly. Water, light, a blade, and the pendant she once gave him. Elira had said it was only a gift. But now he knew it meant more. He left the palace before dawn. No one stopped him, but he felt eyes watching. The guards were letting him go, or waiting to see if he would return. The glowing stone pulsed in his hand, guiding him through the winding cliffs behind the city. Soon the stone faded, and trees surrounded him. He had entered the forest. The trees were tall, with silver leaves and whispering branches. The deeper he walked, the less sound there was. Even his footsteps seemed quiet. He followed the broken marks along the ground. Small signs only someone who knew her well would see. A snapped vine, a piece of her robe, a smear of blood. Silas felt panic rise. Was she wounded? Was someone hunting her? Just before dusk he found the ruins. They stood hidden in a clearing, half swallowed by the forest. Strange symbols covered the stone walls. This was not a place for outsiders. This was something sacred and old. And she was there, kneeling beside a glowing pool, her hands pressed to the ground, whispering in a language he did not know. "Elira," he said softly. She turned, eyes wide. Then she stood, her face full of emotion. "You followed," she said. "You ran," he replied. She lowered her head. "I had to." "Why?" She walked toward him, her voice shaking. "Because what I feel for you breaks the old law." "What law?" "The law of royal blood," she whispered. "I am not allowed to bond with another species, not with a human, not with you." "That's not love," he said. "That's slavery." "It is tradition," she said, "then break it." "I already did," she said. "When you spoke those words, something inside me changed. I wanted to stay. I wanted to say it back. But the moment I do, I will be hunted." He reached for her hand. "They're going to hunt you anyway." She nodded, silent tears running down her cheeks. "Then we run," he said. "Where?" "Anywhere but here." For the first time she smiled, but the moment broke with the sound of horns in the distance. Elira turned quickly. "They're coming." Silas drew his blade. "Then we don't wait." They ran together through the ruins, deeper into the forest, the sounds of boots and voices chasing close behind. As they moved, Silas felt something strange. The pendant around his neck began to glow. He looked down. Elira saw it too. "The bond is beginning," she whispered. "What bond?" "If you love me, truly love me, the pendant connects us. It shares your life force with mine." "Take it," he said. "Are you sure?" "You already have my heart. Take the rest." She touched the pendant, and light burst through the trees. For a moment, the forest itself stopped breathing, and then it began again. But everything had changed. The secret of her blood. The light from the pendant faded slowly. Silas stood beside Elira in the middle of the glowing forest, both of them breathing hard. Behind them, the sounds of shouting grew quieter. The soldiers had lost their trail, for now. Elira touched the pendant that still shimmered against Silas's chest. "It has begun," she whispered. What has? Silas asked. The bond, she said. You gave me more than love. You gave me part of your life, your soul. And now, the old code will see you as part of me. Then maybe they won't hunt me, he said. Elira shook her head. No, they will hunt you harder, because they fear the bloodline changing. Silas sat beside a fallen log. The weight of her words made the air feel heavy. Tell me everything, he said. No more hiding. Elira nodded. Long ago, before the Empire, our people lived with others. We walked among humans, Torvins, even the old stone kind. But one day, a war broke out. A betrayal by one of our own who loved outside the royal line. His bond gave a new power to the child, a mix of two species. Was that a crime? Silas asked. Not at first, she said. But the child had power no one understood. It grew fast. It spoke the old tongue at birth. It broke walls with only thought. The High Council feared this power. So they made a law. No royal may love outside their kind. If they do, they will be hunted. Silas frowned. But that was one child. One mistake. They can't punish love forever. They do, she whispered. And now I have broken the law. By loving you, by letting the bond begin, I have become a threat. They'll never see us that way, Silas said. You are kind, gentle, wise. They don't see what I am, she said. They see what I might become. Then she looked at her hands. They were glowing, not with light, with energy, soft blue lines under, her skin pulsing like rivers of power. Silas stepped back. Elira, is that? The bond awakens my old blood, she said. The blood of the first queen, the one they tried to erase. So you're becoming her? No, she said. I'm becoming myself, no longer just a princess, something more, something they fear. Before Silas could speak, the ground shook. From the shadows, figures emerged, not soldiers, priests. Tall, cloaked in white, faces hidden behind glass masks. They carried no weapons, but they did not need them. Do not run, one of them said. We are not here to kill. Elira stepped forward. You served my mother, she said. You taught me the songs of peace. Now you follow the code that would destroy me. The lead priest spoke again. We follow balance. Your bond with him breaks the line. If you return now, the elders may still undo what has started. Undo him? She asked. Undo this? She reached for Silas's hand. They stood together. The priest was silent for a moment. Then he said, If you continue this path, you will not be allowed to return. Your name will be removed from the line. Your memory will be hidden. Your blood will be marked. Then mark me, she said. But you cannot take my truth. The priest bowed his head. So be it. And then, like mist, they vanished. Elira dropped to her knees, her strength fading. They will tell the council, she said. They will send more. Next time they will not speak. They will strike. Silas held her. Then we find a place they cannot reach. There is only one such place, she whispered. The sanctuary of the broken moon, where the old queens once hid from war. Then that's where we go. She looked up at him. You would leave your world? For me? You were never just part of my world, he said. You were the reason it mattered. Her eyes filled with tears, not fear, but love. The bond between them pulsed stronger. The forest glowed again, and far above, a red light appeared in the sky. A signal. The Empire knew, and time was running out. Hunted by her own kind, the night sky over the forest turned red. Elira looked up. The glow wasn't from the moons. It came from the royal beacons, a signal sent only in one case. Royal betrayal. Silas stood beside her, holding her arm. He could feel her body growing cold, her strength fading. They know where we are, she whispered. We move now, Silas said. They packed quickly, grabbing only what they needed: food, water, the pendant, and the blade of her ancestors. The forest ahead was dark, but she led the way. Even weak, she knew these paths like breath. But something followed them. They heard it first, the low hum of hoverblades slicing through the mist. Then came the voices, hard, sharp, full of command. Bring her back alive. Kill the human if he resists. Elira froze. Silas pulled her behind a rock. His fingers tightened around his old pulse pistol, a small weapon against trained royal guards. How many? He asked. 5. Maybe more, she said. They were near the river now. Below them, the water rushed through jagged rocks. To the left, the old bridge had collapsed. There was no clean way forward. I'll slow them down, Silas said. You go. No, Elira said. We stay together. Always. Then, she closed her eyes. The air around her changed. Soft blue light began to rise from her skin, flowing through the cracks in her hands down to her fingertips. The vines near her feet moved. The wind shifted. What are you doing? Silas asked. Calling the old power, she said. But it will take from me. Don't, he said. You're not strong enough. I must, she replied. If I don't, they will take you and make me watch. The guards reached the clearing. Their armor glowed gold under the red sky. Princess Elira, one of them shouted. You are ordered to return. The elders will forgive you if you surrender. Now. Elira stepped forward. Her robe moved in the wind. Her eyes glowed like stars. I am not returning, she said. Then you will fall, the soldier replied. They raised their weapons. Silas stepped in front of her. You'll have to go through me. As you wish, the soldier said. But before they could fire, the ground beneath them cracked. Roots burst from the earth, wrapping around their legs, their arms, their weapons. Trees bent forward, branches slamming down like fists. The guards cried, out, trapped by the living forest. Elira raised her hand. A wave of blue light shot from her palm, blasting through the clearing. The helmets of the soldiers cracked. Their golden armor shattered like glass. Silas watched, stunned. She wasn't just royalty. She was power. But then, her knees buckled. He caught her before she fell. Elira, he shouted. Stay with me. The bond takes energy, she whispered. Each time I use it, it burns a little more of me. Then no more, he said. Save it. Save yourself. I cannot save just myself, she said, her voice soft. Not if you're part of me now. They moved quickly through the trees. Behind them, the forest covered the ruins, hiding the fight from those who might follow, but they both knew more would come. Elira leaned on Silas, breathing slow and shallow. I can't run forever, she said. Then we stop running, he replied. We go where they can't follow. The sanctuary, she whispered. How far? 3 days. Maybe 4. Then we make it, he said. They crossed rivers. They climbed mountains. They hid under fallen roots and in caves. Each night the stars followed them. Each night she grew weaker, but her spirit never broke. And Silas stayed at her side, never letting go, until the 4th night. They saw it. A glowing structure rising between 2 cliffs, a building older than the empire itself. Wrapped in silver vines, guarded by silence. The sanctuary, Elira said, her voice faint. We made it, Silas whispered. But even then, they knew it wasn't over, because the empire was moving, and the stars were changing. The cliff of choice, the sanctuary stood quiet under the pale light of the moons. Huge stone pillars rose like teeth between 2 black cliffs. Silver vines wrapped around them, pulsing with faint energy. Deep inside, old symbols glowed across the walls, writing from a time before the First Empire. Elira and Silas passed through the entrance. No guards, no traps, only silence. But the silence did not bring peace. Elira fell to her knees just past the first arch. Her body shook. Her skin flickered with blue light. The bond was taking more from her than she could give. Silas held her close. "Stay awake," he whispered. "You're safe now." "Not yet," she breathed. "They will come. Let them," he said. "We'll fight." "You won't survive the next fight," she said softly. "Neither will I." Silas looked around the sanctuary. There was only one exit, the same way they came in. No escape. He reached into his pack and pulled out a small flare beacon. He looked at her. "I'll call them," he said. "I'll give myself up. Maybe they'll spare you." She grabbed his wrist weakly. "Don't. I can't watch you die," he said. "And I can't live knowing you gave yourself to them." He paused, then looked into her eyes. "Then what do we do?" Before she could answer, the wind changed. A low hum filled the air. Shadows moved across the cliffs above. They were here, a full royal strike team, more than 20 soldiers in golden armor, moving in silent formation. They surrounded the sanctuary. From the highest ledge, a figure in black armor stepped forward. A voice called out, "Princess Elira. By order of the High Blood Council, you are to be taken back. The bond must be broken. The human must be destroyed." Elira tried to stand. She couldn't. Silas looked up. His voice was strong. "She is not your prisoner." The soldiers raised their weapons. "Then you will both die." But before they could fire, Elira rose, her feet unsteady, her hands glowing, her eyes filled with tears and light. "You will not touch him," she said. The air cracked with energy. Blue lightning burst from her fingertips, striking the stone walls. Symbols lit up across the sanctuary like a heartbeat reawakening. The cliffs shook. Dust fell from the ceiling. "You are not strong enough," the commander shouted. Elira stepped forward, fire in her voice. "I am not strong because of blood. I am strong because of love." She raised her arms. The sanctuary answered. Vines burst from the stone, wrapping around the soldiers like whips. Walls closed like jaws. The old power, hidden for centuries, came alive. But Elira fell. Her body glowed, too brightly, too fast. Silas caught her again. "No," he shouted. "You can't burn yourself out." "I must," she whispered. "To protect the bond. To protect you." "Then let me help." He pulled her close and pressed the pendant between them. It glowed, stronger than ever. A beam of light exploded into the sky. The sanctuary shook harder. The soldiers ran, confused and blind. Then, silence. The power faded and so did the light. Elira's body was still. Too still. "No." "Elira," Silas whispered. He held her close. No sound. No breath. "Please, don't go." Then, her eyes opened, just slightly. "You didn't run," she said, barely a whisper. "Never," he replied. A single tear rolled down her cheek. "Then we have a chance." And her eyes closed again. The bond beyond laws. The night was quiet after the battle. Too quiet. Elira lay in Silas's arms inside the broken sanctuary. Her breathing was slow. Too slow. The blue light under her skin had faded. Her strength was nearly gone. Silas held her close, rocking gently, trying not to cry. "You're going to live," he whispered. "I won't let this end here." Her eyes opened just a little. "You stayed," she breathed. "Always," he said. But he knew the truth. She was dying, not from wounds, but from the bond. The connection that saved them was also pulling her life away. The bond had been formed halfway, fed by love, yes, but incomplete, and if it remained broken for too long, it would consume her from the inside. Silas remembered something she told him once. There are old healers who know more about the bond, forgotten by the Empire, hidden far from the bloodline's rules. He had one chance. He stood up, wrapped her in his cloak, and carried her into the cold night. He walked for hours, through forests and across hills. He followed broken roads and glowing stones. The jungle itself seemed to guide him, like it remembered her and respected his love. At dawn, he found a cave surrounded by blue moss. Inside, a soft fire glowed. A figure sat there, old, thin, with skin like cracked stone and eyes that shimmered silver. "Alira," the figure said without looking up. "You have brought her here." "Please," Silas said. "Help her." "You are the human," the healer said. "The one she chose." "Yes, and I'd die for her if that's what it takes." The healer stood and walked slowly to Alira. He placed his hand over her heart. "The bond was made from truth," he said. "But it is not sealed." "How do I seal it?" "You must complete it," the healer said. "You must give her your soul." "Take it," Silas said without thinking. But the healer raised a hand. "It is not that simple. A soul bond is not just love. It is surrender. She must be part of you and you part of her. Your lives will never be separate again. Your pain will be hers. Your future, joined." "Do it," Silas said. "You will never return to your world." The healer warned. "You will never be the same." "I don't care," Silas said. "She's my world." The healer nodded once, then kneel. Silas dropped to his knees, holding Alira's hand tight. The healer placed a glowing crystal between them. The bond awakened. Light poured from their chests, meeting in the air. Alira gasped, her eyes opened wide. "Silas, what are you doing?" "What I should have done from the start," he said. "I'm yours always." Her hand squeezed his. "I feel you. I'm not leaving," he said. The light wrapped around them like ribbons of stars. The bond completed, and the sanctuary pulsed one final time. Not with war, but with life. Alira's breathing returned. Her skin glowed again. The light faded, and they both collapsed into each other's arms, alive, forever changed. The healer stepped back into the shadows. "The bond is sealed," he whispered, "and the law is broken. May love write a new law now." The princess who rewrote the stars many seasons passed since the day the bond was sealed. The war never returned to the sanctuary. The empire stopped sending soldiers. But something else began instead. Whispers. In market towns and old spaceports, in broken stations and on hidden moons, people told a quiet story. The story of a princess who vanished, a human who followed her, and a love so strong it broke a law that had lasted for 1,000 years. They said the forest had protected them. They said the stars had changed their path, and they said the bond still burns, somewhere deep in the wildlands, glowing like a soft blue flame. No one knew where they lived now, but some claimed to have seen them, a pair walking under twin moons, a woman with light in her eyes and power in her voice, a man who never left her side, wearing a pendant that pulsed with soft light. They no longer used names. They didn't need them. But the people remembered. The princess who gave up her crown. The human who gave up his world. Together they became something new, not royal, not soldier, but legend. Deep in the sanctuary, a tree now grows, taller than any other. Its leaves glow in the dark. At its roots, 2 sets of footprints remain, side by side, never alone. One for the human, one for the alien princess. Above them, the stars shine just a little brighter, because once love rewrote the sky, and it never faded.